She's excited today. I'm disgusting. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is David, but you can call me Skiff. And today, we have some errands to run. So I figured I'd bring you along with me because they are related to what we've been doing on this channel, which is fashion. So I figured I'd bring you along, why not, right? I have some suits that I need to have tailored. My brother's getting married at the end of this month, and I have a couple of suits that I wanted to have tailored before I had to leave Los Angeles to go to the wedding. I mean, I have a month, right? But I wanted to make sure that they would be done in time. So it's always a good rule of thumb to a month out have your garments tailored just so that they're done, they're ready to go. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to wait till the last minute. And when you have the time, why not just take care of it in advance, right? So that's what I'm doing today. We're headed to the tailor. And so I figured I'd give you guys a little bit of advice, a little bit of knowledge of what I have learned over the years from working in retail and styling and costume designing, and how I like to have things tailored for myself. Not everyone is going to like having their things tailored the way that I like to have them tailored, because I tend to like to have a more bespoke look to my suits. Listen to that liquid you, mama. Somebody went to theater school. And so, I figured why not discuss like what I like to have done to my suits, and maybe you can pick up a little bit of tips and tricks from the tailor. Hopefully he'll allow me to film with him. I'm sure he won't mind. I've been going to him for years. So step one, when you're purchasing a suit or purchasing anything really that you think is going to need tailoring, to be honest, most things that you purchase off the rack will need to be tailored. Nothing is going to fit you perfectly off the rack, so it's stupid to think that you're not going to have something tailored. Even if it's just a hem, you still have to have that taken care of. And I know it's like a process, but at the end of the day, things are going to fit you better, and you're going to feel better about the clothes that you own, and you're going to take care of them better when they are tailored to fit your body properly. So doesn't matter how much you're spending on the garment itself, I would still recommend having something tailored regardless, whether it's like having the waist taken in or having the seat taken in, you know, like the butt portion, or just a hem, or like a little bit taken in on the thighs so that it fits you a little bit cleaner there. You know, nothing is going to be perfect right off the rack, because things that are mass produced with a standard set of sizes, and not everyone fits those sizes. To be honest, most people don't, not even models. Usually when models are being sent down the runway, that stuff has been tailored to fit their bodies so it looks the best on them. So why wouldn't we apply the same concept to our own clothes? And so that's what I do to make sure that things fit me the way that I like the way things to fit, and to fit me in a way that is going to make me look my best, especially when it comes to a suit, because I have a very particular way that I like my suits to fit. I like a very slim fit. I like my jackets to have an hourglass shape to them, where it's nipped in at the waist. I also have a very disproportionate ratio from my shoulders to my waist, so I often have to have pants taken in at the waist, and or if I get a different size jacket, because when you're purchasing a suit, they're sold as a set, meaning like the jacket and the pants come together, I have to have the pants let out. And I like a slimmer leg on my trouser, so I tend to have the trousers taken in. I tend to have the sleeves of my jackets taken in. I also have my jackets usually taken up, the length of my jackets, because I do actually have very short legs. So I like to have my jackets taken up so that my legs look a little bit longer, and so that the ratio of the suit is a shorter jacket with a longer trouser, which is, you know, you want your legs to look long. You don't want them to look short in a suit when you're wearing a blazer. So that's why I have the jackets raised up a little bit. And so generally, since I know my body and I know that I'm going to be spending, chances are, a lot more money on tailoring than the average person, I tend to prefer to get suits secondhand. So generally what that means is I'll go to like a secondhand shop, whether it's a consignment shop or whatever, what have you, wherever you want to find a suit secondhand. I mean, I've also had, you know, bigger retailer suits tailored, but you know, the quality of those is usually not as great as if I went to a secondhand shop and got something that had been previously owned. I could probably get something that's a little bit better quality and will last me a little bit longer, and then when I have it tailored, it's fit to my body better. I hope this is all making sense. So what I generally do, step one, right, is find yourself a tailor, a good tailor. And this is gonna take you some time in whatever city that you live in to find a tailor. You know, generally speaking, a dry cleaner in your neighborhood will have a tailor. Whether or not that tailor is good is something that you're going to have to experiment. And this means like taking something that you possibly don't care as much about, or something that possibly maybe you haven't worn in a long time, and have that tailored so that you can test to see like how good they are and the quality of their sewing skills, and like how fast the turnaround is. And you know, tailoring can take, depending on what you're having done, anywhere from like a couple days to like a couple weeks. So it's good to know like how long it's going to take to tailor something to when you're going to need it. So that's why I also like to have things done so far in advance, is to make sure that like it's done by the time that I need it, so that I don't have to put a rush on it, which also can be done, but that frustrates your tailor. So step one, find a good tailor. Luckily, because I've been living in Los Angeles for so long and I did work retail, high-end men's retail, I know of a wonderful tailor who does custom suiting here in Los Angeles. And we'll meet him later, hopefully. And I've been going to him for years, so he knows that I like to push the limits of tailoring a little bit to the extreme, and I will take it as far as I can, because there are only certain things that you can do. There are certain limits that there are to how much you can take something in or how much you can let something out, because then the proportions start to look weird. Like if your pants are really, really big when you purchase them, you can only take them in so much, because most trousers, most men's trousers at least, have pockets on the back of them. So if you take them in too much, then the pockets are going to be too close together and are going to look weird. And you don't want that to happen. Also, depending on the vents in the back of the jacket, some blazers are double vented, meaning they have two openings in the back of the jacket and one big flap, and some jackets are single vented. Usually a single vented jacket can only be taken in a certain amount, because then if you take it in too much, the vent pops up in the back, and that also looks weird. So there's like limits to what can be done in tailoring, but you can do a lot to make something look more expensive than it necessarily was, which is, always my goal here, right? Is to look luxe without having to spend all my money on something. And so those are some of the things that I like to do. So step 1, we found our tailor, right? Step 2 is to know what your fit is going to be, right? So like I described to you what I like and how I like my suits to fit. And generally what I will do is I will bring a suit that has already been tailored with me to the tailor to say, because I really hate trying stuff on, but a blazer you're gonna have to try on regardless, but the pants you don't necessarily have to try on. If they're a good tailor, you can bring a pair of trousers that fits you the way that you like them to fit, and you can bring them to the tailor and say, I want these trousers to fit like these. And generally what they'll do is they'll measure the trousers that you like, they'll lay them flat on the ground, and they'll measure like from seam to seam, from edge to edge, from top to bottom, to see what the ratio is. Like let's say it's like 10 to then it goes to 8 at the thigh to then it goes to 6, something like that, like so that they can figure out how to take in the trousers that you want taken in. So then they'll measure those and they'll be like, oh, okay, it needs to come in 1 inch here, 2 inches here, 1 inch there, and then you don't have to try on the trousers. I also do that for the width of the trousers, and I also do that for the length, because I like a very specific length on my trousers as well. I either like something a little bit too short, I like a cropped trouser, or I like something with no break. And the break of the trouser is where your trouser hits the top of your shoe and the fabric bends in. So some people like a full break, which is where they like a very long trouser. Basically, that's what that means, is they like their trousers to be very long. Some people like a medium break, which is like right in between. I mean, that's typically what I would suggest for the average Joe, or for anyone who isn't going to have who isn't going to basically be wearing suits for fashion, like I do. I mean, I don't even think I need to wear a suit to my brother's wedding, and I've decided to wear 2, so stick that in your pipe. And so some people like a medium break, and that is going to be like typically what you should be asking for is a medium break. It's not too long, it's not too short, it's right in the middle. It's going to give you a lot of wear, and it's not gonna look sloppy. And some people like no break, which is what I like generally, which means just like straight down, hit the top of the shoe, and not any extra fabric, or cropped, I like as well. Let's see, what else? Jacket length of the sleeve is typically the same for everybody. You want like probably like a 1/4 inch of your shirt sticking out. If you have more than that, either your shirt needs to be shortened, the length of your shirt sleeves need to be shortened, or you're not getting the right jacket length, and then you have to go into longs or shorts, because you don't typically want to shorten the sleeves of your jacket too much. And if you can't find a short length and you do need to shorten your jackets more, ask your tailor to shorten it from the shoulder, to take up the shoulder as opposed to take it up from the bottom. It will keep the proportion of the jacket, of the sleeve, looking better if they take it up from the shoulder as opposed to taking it up from the bottom of the sleeve. It will cost you more money, but in the long run, it will inevitably end up looking nicer. And then jacket length, again, I think is a personal thing. Typically, how you want your jacket to fit is when your arms are sitting down beside you, beside your body. If you can cup your hand like this, right? You're gonna cup your hand next to your body like this under the jacket. If it fits perfectly, the jacket length is great. If it folds, then that's how much your jacket needs to come up so that it's the right length for you. And if it doesn't fit at all underneath your hand, then again, you need to be getting a long length instead of a regular length or a short length. But if you want a short jacket, that's again a personal preference. I mean, when it comes to shorter length jackets, it's a personal preference, or someone like me who wants to keep the proportion of my body looking a certain way whilst I'm wearing that suit, because I know that I have short legs, and in a photograph it looks better when my jacket is a little bit shorter. Again, that's just a personal preference. I'm also kind of like a crazy person. So anyway, long story short, we are approaching the tailor right now. He's right here. That didn't take very long at all, did it? Okay, so I'm gonna stop talking right now. I'm gonna park my core, and then we will see you inside the tailor shop, okay? See you in a second. And just like that, we're done. See, don't underestimate the importance of a good relationship with your tailor. I mean, once you find the right person, it's never going to take very long to just drop something off. I was in there for what, 5 minutes? And I dropped off 2 suits, and 10 days they'll be done. Which is good. It's gonna take 10 days. We don't need them until the end of the month. So look at that. And then we still will have time to find all the accessories, meaning finding the shirt that we wanna wear, finding the right ties to go with the suits. I pretty much have an idea of what I want to wear for both suits. I mean, I brought a gray pinstriped suit in. It's like a very fine, it's a charcoal gray with a very fine white pinstripe. That I'm gonna be wearing a white dress shirt and a tonal tie is what I'm thinking, because I have the shoes for that already. And then for the other one, which is the navy suit that I actually wore in my prom look book that I got for my prom look book. That one, I have this light blue shirt with silver detailing on it that I've had for probably, I don't know, 6 years, and I've literally never worn it. Because I never know what to wear with it, and the only thing it ever really was going to look good with is navy and probably a suit, and I so rarely wear suits that I've like literally never worn it. And I figured it would be really cute to wear that for the rehearsal dinner for my brother's wedding. So that's what I'm thinking, and I'd probably need to find shoes for that. Other than that, I mean, I think we're done here. I'll make sure to show you guys what they looked like, afterwards. I'm not really gonna have befores because I didn't think to try them on before I left for the tailor, and then of course I didn't try them on when I got to the tailor, but it looks like the gray trousers needed to come in the waist and the seat, and then throughout the leg, and then the length, and the blue ones, just the leg and the length is going to need to come up. But both jackets were too broad in the shoulders it looked like they all fit perfectly fine. It's just not the way that I like them to fit. I prefer a narrower shoulder in the jacket, and I prefer a narrower body. So like the jacket is where I'm going to be spending most of my money. And to be honest, I think it's probably gonna cost like $150 per suit, at least. But I'll let you guys know all those details as I have them. And I probably won't be showing you the suits until the wedding happens, and I'll make sure to vlog as much as I can at the wedding, so that you can see what I ended up wearing then. But that's not gonna be till the end of the month, so you're gonna have to stay tuned. So make sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification so you can be notified every single time I upload a new video. You can follow me across all social media platforms at You Can Call Me Skiff. And leave me a comment and let me know if this was helpful. If you picked up any tips, I'd love to hear from you guys. And other than that, we'll see you on the next one. Bye.